Malik was 35 years old. For as long as he could remember, his life had been shaped by the decisions of others. His father had said, "You're strong, son," and sent him to work with a village carpenter. His uncle insisted, "Money is in the city," and pushed him to move away. His friends urged him, "Come with us," and dragged him into debts he never wanted. Malik had never chosen his own path. Others spoke, and he followed. Others pointed, and he walked. Deep inside him, a sentence lived like a buried stone. "This life isn't mine." One day, while walking through the noisy streets of the city, that sentence echoed suddenly in his chest, as if someone whispered it directly into his soul. "You didn't write your destiny." Malik stopped. It felt like a weight fell from his shoulders. For a moment, the world around him became quiet. That night, as he walked home from work, the sky was turning darker and heavier. Rain was coming. A sudden gust of wind blew through the street, and something strange happened. An old wooden door, standing alone, creaked loudly under a street lamp. It made no sense. There were no buildings attached to it. No walls, no frame, no house. Just a door standing there, as if it weren't a door at all but a sign. It was covered with ancient carvings. A crescent moon symbol gleamed faintly in the middle, surrounded by rays like sunlight. At the bottom of the door, a piece of paper fluttered in the wind. Malik bent down and picked it up. Only one sentence was written on it. "Destiny appears only to those who walk through the door of courage." Malik couldn't help but laugh at first. It felt like a strange prank. But then, something warm moved inside his chest. The sentence didn't feel unfamiliar. It felt like something he had been waiting his entire life to hear. He looked at the door again, raised his hand slowly. The door vibrated, like a living thing with breath. Malik jumped back, startled, then took one step forward. If destiny is a door, maybe mine is here. He reached for the metal knocker. It was heavy and cold, but the moment he touched it, the entire door burst into a soft golden glow. Malik shut his eyes, and when the light faded, the door swung open by itself. He stepped inside, and suddenly the world changed. There was no room behind the door. There was a garden, but not like any garden he had ever seen. The sky was a deep navy blue, yet the stars hung so close they looked almost reachable. The trees glowed with golden leaves. Even the soil shimmered with faint light. The wind brushed past him, carrying whispers through the air. "Welcome, Malik." His heart raced. "Me? How do they know my name?" It felt like destiny had been waiting for him. Breathless, at the center of the garden stood an old stone table. On it lay an open book. When Malik approached, the pages turned by themselves in the wind. Until they stopped, on the page was written, "Malik bin Yusuf," and beneath it, "Destiny File." Malik reached out to touch the book. The moment his fingers brushed the page, the entire book glowed. Then he heard a voice not male nor female, not near nor far, but everywhere at once. "Malik, why do you think your destiny became the way it is?" Malik swallowed. "Because I always listen to others." The voice answered, "No." Malik froze. "No." The voice boomed softly with gentle authority. "You were not forced. You surrendered." Malik's eyes filled with tears. The truth he had avoided his whole life was being spoken by destiny itself. "So, what can I do now?" he whispered. The garden fell silent. The golden trees seemed to pause, watching him. The voice returned. "Destiny changes when you take the first step. When a person walks with their own will, destiny opens new doors before them." Malik held his breath. "I want to walk, but I'm afraid." The voice softened. "Fear does not stop destiny. It only delays it." Suddenly, the glowing book slammed shut and slid off the table. At that moment, another door appeared in the middle of the garden. This one was grander than the first, covered in golden carvings, decorated with a crescent and star. On its surface, one word appeared. "Choice." Malik approached the door. When he touched it, new words emerged across its surface, as if written by invisible light. Courage, patience, responsibility, willpower. Tears streamed down Malik's face. For the first time in his life, destiny was offering him a choice. The voice whispered, "If you pass through this door, your life will no longer be written by others. It will be written by you." Malik took a deep breath. Just as he was about to push it open, a new symbol appeared glowing on the door. An eye. Light streamed from its center. "But remember, Malik," the voice whispered, "destiny appears only to the brave." Malik closed his eyes, placed his palm firmly on the door, and stepped forward. Malik felt the cold metal of the golden door beneath his palm. He took a final breath and pushed it open. A rush of warm wind swept through him like a wave of light. Suddenly, he stood in an entirely different place. It was a long corridor, but not a corridor made of walls. A corridor made of memories. On both sides, scenes from Malik's life flickered like moving paintings. In one, he saw himself as a boy, gripping his father's hand. In another, he saw himself as a teenager, following friends he didn't trust. Further down, he watched himself in the city, exhausted, drained, taking orders, never choosing. Every memory whispered the same truth. You gave your life away piece by piece. Malik walked slowly, his gaze drifting from one memory to the next. Some made him ache with regret. Others he barely recognized. Each memory was a thread woven into his destiny. Threads he had never taken control of. As he reached the end of the corridor, a new scene formed. But this time it wasn't a memory. It was a future. His future. He saw himself standing in the same place he had always been, working a job that drained him, surrounded by people who didn't value him. His heart silent and forgotten. A life without direction. A life without claim. Malik shook his head. No, this isn't what I want. The corridor trembled as if responding. The walls rippled like water. Suddenly, a second future appeared beside the first. This time Malik saw himself helping people, teaching, guiding, building something meaningful. His face was different in this future. His eyes clear, his stance firm. A man who had made choices. A man who walked with intention. Malik reached out, touching the glowing image. A spark surged into his hand, and a voice spoke behind him. Destiny is not a cage, Malik. It is a river. If you do not steer it, the current will drag you. Malik turned. A figure of pure light stood behind him, neither human nor creature, just radiant shaped like a silhouette. Its voice echoed softly. Your life until now has been lived on borrowed decisions. But a single step in sincerity can rewrite a lifetime. Malik swallowed hard. Then what should I do? The figure extended a hand toward him. Light wrapped around Malik like a warm cloak. First, said the voice, you must forgive yourself. Malik froze. He hadn't expected that. Forgive myself? Yes, for surrendering, for remaining silent, for not believing your choices mattered. Destiny does not punish your past, Malik. It only asks, what will you choose now? A tear slid down Malik's cheek. He never realized how deeply he had blamed himself for years wasted, dreams abandoned, strength used. The figure of light placed its hand over Malik's heart. Warmth flooded through him. What do you desire, Malik? For the first time in his life, Malik answered without fear. I want to live a life that belongs to me. I want to choose. I want to move. I want to be awake. The light around them brightened. Then step forward. Your destiny is waiting. The corridor dissolved into whiteness. Malik found himself back in the golden garden. Only now it looked different. The trees were brighter. The stars closer. The wind felt warm and alive. In the center of the garden stood the Book of Destiny. Still closed. Malik approached it, placed his hand on the cover. It opened by itself, pages turning rapidly like a whirlwind, past, present, future, until it stopped on a blank page, completely blank. Malik stared. Why is it empty? The voice whispered behind him again, gentle now, familiar, because it is yours to write. Malik looked at the blank page and felt something shift inside him, a strength he had never known. He reached toward the page, and as his fingers touched the paper, Golden words began forming on their own. This is the day Malik bin Yusuf chose his own destiny. A breath escaped his lips. His knees weakened. He felt reborn. The voice spoke again. There is one last door. Malik turned. Behind him, a third door appeared, larger, brighter, more radiant than the others. It pulsed with a warm golden glow. A symbol of a heart surrounded by light shone in its center. The voice described it only with one word: purpose. Malik walked toward it slowly, each step lighter than the last. He knew this door would lead him back to the real world, but he also knew he wouldn't return as the same man. He placed his hand on the door. Before opening it, he looked back once more. Will I ever see this place again? The garden glowed softly. The voice whispered, whenever you choose with sincerity, you return here. Malik smiled, a real smile, the kind he hadn't felt in years. He pushed the door open. A warm light engulfed him. Then he felt ground beneath his feet. Cold pavement. Rain, the same rain from before, fell lightly on his face. He was back in the city, back where the journey started, back before the lonely door. Only now, the ancient door was gone. No sign it had ever existed, just an empty street, a faint glow in the puddles, and Malik standing alone, but no longer lost. He looked at his hands. They trembled, not from fear, but from awakening. For the first time, he whispered with certainty, my destiny is mine now. And when he turned to walk, the world felt different. It hadn't changed, but Malik had. The wind carried a faint whisper behind him, as if from the unseen garden. Destiny reveals itself to those who dare to step forward. Malik stepped, and the universe stepped with him.